Virus relief package. We take a look at what's in it to help the millions still struggling.
I'm Elise Preston in New York City with a look at the dangerous storm that's impacting millions of Americans today and the efforts being made to make sure the coronavirus vaccine is still delivered.
And a former Marine creates a nonprofit bringing vets together and shifting their healing into high gear.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Millions of Americans head into the holidays uncertain about their economic future, and now several 100,000 more have joined the list of unemployed. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach, topping our first 7 minutes. The latest on a stimulus deal that would provide nearly $1 trillion in relief to Americans and businesses. 885,000 Americans filed new unemployment claims last week, up from the previous week. They're part of the 5.5 million now receiving state benefits. Congress is negotiating the final details of a COVID relief bill that would extend federal unemployment benefits for 4 months at $300 per person per week. That's down from the $600 earlier this year. The roughly $900 billion package could also include a $600 to $700 check for most Americans, as well as money for rental assistance, food assistance, money for schools and vaccine distribution, and $300 billion in help for small businesses. The pressure is on lawmakers to agree to a new spending bill by tomorrow night to avoid a government shutdown. An FDA advisory panel meets today to review Moderna's coronavirus vaccine. Approval could come as early as tomorrow, which would make it the second COVID-19 vaccine approved for use in the United States, following the approval of Pfizer's vaccine. Well, it's not officially winter yet, but millions of people in the Northeast are dealing with a deadly snowstorm that has already dumped more than 2 feet in some areas. Elise Preston has the latest from a snowy Times Square.
Driving is treacherous across the Northeast today as the first major storm of the season is bringing heavy snow, high winds, and icy conditions.
Oh my God, this is crazy. I didn't think it was going to come down this crazy.
1 person died in this weather-related crash on Interstate 81 in Virginia. And in Pennsylvania, a man was hit and killed at this intersection by a public works plow truck. In Maryland, airline passengers had a scare when their jet slid off the taxiway after landing. Spirit Airlines says no one was injured.
This is the biggest winter storm to hit New York City since 2018, and while cleanup is already underway, forecasters say this storm could dump another half a foot of snow in some areas before day's end.
A lot of wind still, but we can handle it.
The nasty weather has forced at least 8 states to temporarily shut down coronavirus testing sites. And there's also concern worker shortages linked to the pandemic could delay snow plowing.
COVID-19 has impacted crew availability for the state and for some cities and towns.
But when it comes to vaccine delivery, government officials and major delivery companies say the vaccine is their top priority and that deliveries will continue as long as roads and airports are open. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
More than 45 million Americans are under winter weather alerts. Luckily, things are much calmer here in the 4 states. Michael Hayslip joins us with a first look at the forecast.
One problem with that system, Tanya, is how slow moving it is. A big low pressure system really sitting right off the coast of Boston right now. Here's an updated Skywatch storm tracker for the northeastern portion for what we just saw right there. Now, as we transition to the 4 states, look at that. We got on the other side of the cloud cover, a whole bunch of sunshine, and really temperatures not too bad for the middle of December. 42, feeling like 35. Southwest wind, 13 miles per hour, and temperatures ranging anywhere from 38 being our low spot in Pittsburgh, all the way up at 37 in Monette, my bad, all the way up to the low 40s. You have 42 there in Chanute. Now, speaking of the wind, it's in the middle of a little bit of a switch, and what that's going to do is actually feed us some warmer temperatures here by tomorrow. And it kind of takes effect tonight because we're able to drop down right at freezing, not have to worry about those wind chills in the teens like they have been past couple of days. We know we've got developments on the way come Friday night. Now, Friday afternoon is going to be delightful, and the rain really won't kick in until real late at night into Saturday morning. And a lot of it's just going to be very light rain, probably only looking at about 3/10 of an inch right there. As far as the 7-day forecast goes, Saturday in the 40s. After the rain subsides, we'll get actually some afternoon sunshine. Sunday's not too bad in the 50s. And then the first day of winter, 60 degrees on the 7-day forecast.
We'll take that, that's for sure. All right, thanks, Michael. Well, we know most students, and maybe the teachers too, love a good snow day, but the traditional snow day is not the same as it used to be in McDonald County. The district there changed how snow days work so that students don't miss classwork. Whenever there's inclement weather, students will stay home and learn virtually. Well, this past Monday was one of those days, and school officials say it worked well. The change only applies to short school closures that are less than 36 hours. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, how one group in Texas is banding together to help veterans get back on track by putting them behind the wheel. And later, we're making chocolate treats in ice cube trays. The pandemic is stressful for almost all of us, including frontline workers and service members. Many troops face serious additional challenges after repeated deployments overseas. Now, one group is getting military members, veterans, and first responders back on track. Jamie Wax shows us how they're finding help behind the wheel.
Here near Houston, veterans are on the fast track to rebuilding their lives.
I remember going, man, today was amazing, and I want more of that.
3 Marine deployments left Brian Fogarty facing depression and PTSD.
You're talking about the killer of the human soul and often the human life.
Absolutely. I got to ride the world's greatest roller coaster. I lived my childhood dream. And when you don't have that anymore, you just don't feel a purpose. You don't feel worthy.
Now he's finding purpose with the help of the unique nonprofit U.S.M.C. Racing, started by a fellow Marine, Brian Check, to help struggling vets meet up and shift their healing into high gear.
They get out of the car, they're like shaking from the adrenaline, they're smiling ear to ear.
It's amazing how healing that adrenaline can be.
It's unbelievable.
The U.S.M.C. in the nonprofit's name doesn't stand for U.S. Marine Corps, but Uncle Sam's Misguided Children, reflecting how some returning servicemen and women see themselves while adjusting to life back here at home.
It's a group of guys getting a car running and getting out in the track and doing your part in order to accomplish your mission.
Feels familiar to you.
Absolutely.
And to everyone who races in this.
And we all feel that camaraderie, having that purpose.
Reclaiming that purpose is personal for Check.
I have buried more friends due to suicide. I've seen more guys go to jail, drinking problems. I got sick of seeing it, and I felt like I needed to do something.
And with almost 18 veterans a day taking their lives, something more than just spinning his wheels.
Making people aware of something, to me, that's kind of a cop-out. We're actually out here doing this.
Yeah.
But this is no race to the cure. Like the process of helping vets, it's a test of endurance and teamwork.
All right, go ahead.
In relays that can run 24 hours straight, called 24 Hours of Lemons. That's lemons because, well, look at them, squeezing all that's left out of these junkyard jewels.
When you're right up in it, you get a sense of the speed of these cars.
Once called Halloween meets gasoline, here the crazier and more colorful the cars, the better. Each rehabbed for a second chance. And maybe that's part of the appeal for those who served. They're able to find new life here. Like Army Special Ops veteran A.J. Jackson, who says he ended up in a dark, dangerous spiral. Jackson now finds new thrills, challenges, and rejuvenation racing with his wife, Rebecca. As the track shut down for the night, we spoke with the couple.
You have somebody who's so driven, a team guy, and it just all went away.
What have you seen in him since he has discovered this kind of racing?
He's back.
Back on track. Like the over 300 troops, veterans, and first responders U.S.M.C. Racing has put in the driver's seat.
The family environment that's created here, a lot of times it just gives me goosebumps. I don't know what I would do without this. This is my therapy.
A therapy that's raising the spirits and pulses of those who've risked everything to keep us safe.
Jamie Wax, CBS News.
Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Today, we're sharing a homemade gift idea that's pretty sweet, so make sure you stick around.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
less than 48 hours removed from our last bout of snow, and the grass not even showing any signs of what's remaining there outside of Television City, as the sunshine has taken its effect. Now, every now and then you still see some shaded areas, you see a little white on the ground, but I really think by the time the afternoon's all said and done, let that sun shift a little bit, it'll all be gone. Now, we sit in the low 40s. We got a couple more degrees to go. Remember, we've peak heating hours probably about between 3 and 4 p.m. And so we're really going to be right on par for where we'd expect to be middle of December. Look at that record low back in 1989. That's the same year where we had the December 16th low. That bottomed out at -7. We do still have a little wind chill in effect, even some low 30s there in Pittsburgh and Fort Scott, 36 in Carthage, 37 in Independence, and that's a factor of the wind, and we're going to have some high winds coming at us, but for the most part, big high pressure system almost replaced where they got the majority of that snow down there in Oklahoma City. We're the recipients of that as it pushes all the cloud cover out to the east. Now, while we've got high pressure here in the Midwest, we know where the low pressure is, hanging right off the coast of Boston right there. It's what's left of that major winter storm as this thing made its way up to the northeast into New England Wednesday night into Thursday morning. 60-car pileup in Pennsylvania, blamed for 2 deaths. The entire state of New York doing virtual school for students, and snow totals ranging anywhere from 3 to 5 feet. Not 3 to 5 inches, 3 to 5 feet. As this thing is shut down a number of states, Highway Patrol urging people just to simply stay off the road. There's the result of the low pressure as indicated by the jet stream. Now, we turn out to the west. Our next system still on the other side of the Rockies. Hasn't made its way here, which means we've got the rest of today and just about all of tomorrow to stay on the dry side. So once again, I think we make it right up to our average temperatures for this time of year, and the southwest wind just 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, as we transition overnight, we are going to see the clouds begin to reemerge. Nice thing is about that, keeps us from dropping down into the low 20s like what we've had past couple of days. Wind chills, therefore, when you get ready to take off for work, if you got to be out early, when the kids take off for the bus or whatnot, probably feeling about like high 20s, low 30s, not too bad at all. But I'll tell you what is really going to happen is going to be the wind. It's going to make a huge difference. Number one, it's going to be a dry wind. Drop our humidity down to about 40% tomorrow. Number two, also warm us up all the way into the 50s. And so while it begins to develop early Friday morning, when we get into the afternoon hours, we're talking about 25, 30 miles per hour coming right out of the south right there. See some gusts probably of 40 to 45 miles per hour. And with that dropping humidity, not going to be surprised if we don't end up with a wind advisory, perhaps even a red flag warning when it comes to making sure we don't do any outdoor burning. But then you'll notice Saturday at noon, we've already flipped the script and we're dropping back in for the north. And here's why. As we get with that additional cloud cover on Friday, it's pretty nice. And even though we don't have the sunshine, we love the 50s in December. Can't beat that. And then as we get into late Friday night, don't let it discourage any of your Friday afternoon or early nighttime plans. We do see the rain begin to develop, but when we put this model in motion, that's very light rain right there. And because we're going to be in the 50s, that's not going to see a whole lot of it flip over into that wintry precip. The darker rain, so in green, wants to stay down to the south right there. And some of that's not even going to be able to hit the ground. And at the same point in time, 46 degrees, really not going to have any travel effects. As far as the 7-day forecast goes, it's going to be a little bit warmer than on Sunday. Sunday just about like Friday temperature-wise with sunny skies. And then we get ready for the winter solstice, which will be Monday morning, and Monday afternoon we're into the 60s.
Hey, and no complaints. I can handle 60 degrees for the first official day of winter.
Yeah, I mean, it really, if you look at our next shot, we're even talking about a wintry mix isn't until next Wednesday.
We'll take it. All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, U.S. Army Specialist Jack Gribble from Columbus, Kansas. The Tech 4 served with the 125th General Hospital Unit stationed in England from 1943 to 1946. He earned the Good Conduct Medal for his service. To Jack Gribble, we thank you, our four-state hero. Well, making candy and cookies with the family is a Christmas tradition for many. And today, Howard shows us a fun way to turn your ice cube tray into a mold for some sweet treats. We're making ice cube chocolates in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
How's your holiday shopping coming along? Is there someone on your list who has you stumped? If so, then we've got an idea that's really special and it won't cost you an arm and a leg. It's homemade chocolates. And if you're thinking, I can't make that, it's time to think again. We start by melting a good amount of chocolate chips along with a bit of coconut oil in the microwave. After giving it a good mix, we fill plastic ice cube trays, about a third full, with the chocolate and pop them in the freezer. After a few minutes, we take them out and tilt the trays so each cube is lined with the chocolate, and back in the freezer they go. Once they firm up, we fill the centers with anything from mini marshmallows or caramel to peanut butter and nuts. Then more chocolate goes on top and we freeze them again. When they firm up, give the tray a slight twist and flip it over. Voila! Fancy chocolates. For an extra festive touch, drizzle them with some white chocolate and top them with some sugar decorations. Imagine how great these would look inside a gift box or on a holiday tray. The recipe for what we call our ice cube chocolates is online now. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a giftable chocolate way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Hey!
Have a lot of ideas for that one. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
Hi, I'm Scott.
Mid-40s today, then the clouds reemerge for tomorrow, but we're still able to make it up to the 50s on Friday. And remember, late Friday night into Saturday morning, we're going to get some rain, not going to amount to much. Cool on Saturday, but sun, and then Sunday all the way back into the 50s. Now, over to Dow Quick with a look at what's coming up tonight at 5.
Yeah, at 5 in a holiday season like no other, Christmas trees are taking on some new mementos of 2020. We're going to show you how pandemic-themed ornaments are flying off the shelves. Plus, we're going to take you inside Joplin's Mercy Hospital as the first round of COVID-19 vaccinations continue. And the Neosho School District breaks ground on a new storm shelter at the middle school. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's all coming up on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.